Welcome to all you, dear friends. On behalf of a dedicated group of organizers, Universitetet i Oslo, Fritt Ord, Norsk Presseforbund, Redaktørforeningen, Norsk Journalistlag, den Norske Forleggerforeningen og Høgskolen i Oslo og Norsk PEN. I welcome you to this meeting about what is happening in Turkey. And special thanks, of course, to Fritt Ord giving us the opportunity and the generosity being here in these premises. We are lucky to have with us important representatives of the Turkish public life, together with a panel of Norwegian analysts and insiders, knowing the current situation and the international scenery of the country very well and right now. This is one of, at least, the first seminars with a broader Turkish representation in Norway after the difficulties this summer. The panel will be moderated by Jørgen Lorentzen, and member, he is also of the Turkish group of Norwegian PEN, and he will introduce the panel himself. Let me just thank our Turkish guests, Sanar Yurdatapan, Berna Akisal, and Rajib Sarakulu, for coming. Sanar, where are you? Here. There you are. Yeah. We'll open the evening with a description of the situation in Turkey. Sanar is a famous activist and freedom of expression defender in Turkey. He is a composer by profession, and his music is famous all over Turkey. Through the 80s, during the time of the junta, he had to leave the country for Germany. When he came back, he started a freedom of expression organization that today carries the name the Initiative of Freedom of Expression. In addition, he has also started so-called small parliaments in several places, 22 of them in Turkey, to familiarize the people with the democratic thinking. And the organization as such holds regularly international summits with high-profile guests from Europe, Asia, and America. And we are very happy that he has brought with him his successor in the organization, Berna Akisal. Where are you? Berna is behind there. They have been working together for many years, and besides running the organization, she has taken over the editorial responsibility with the newsletter, Freedom of Expression Bulletin, coming every week, and is important information to all of us in the international community and also, of course, in Turkey. After the panel discussion led by Jørgen, Rajib Sarakolu will give an appeal. Rajib, together with his late wife Aysenur and his sons, have run the publishing house Bilgi since the beginning of the 70s, where they, among other things, publish books supporting the Kurdish and the Armenian cases. They have been imprisoned numerous times, and for their work, for their publishing work, and for their activist attitude. A couple of years ago, while sitting in a high-security prison, Rajib was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for his important work. And today he is a journalist, important for him to underline that he's a journalist, and an icon refugee in Sweden. He's still being persecuted by the Turkish judiciary. Well, first I give the floor to Sanar, and Jørgen will take over after you, Sanar. Welcome to the house.
Thank you so much for coming. I'd like to start with thanking Norwegian PEN and Fritt Ord and other organizations who helped organize this meeting now. Normally, today, I want to draw a brief picture of Turkey today to you, but normally, because they are my interpretation or commentary, it's not something, it seems to be something abstractions. So, in order to help you, I want to transfer our feelings, a feeling of a Turkish citizen, everyday, Turk or Kurd, that we live in our country. So I prepared a short film, a very short film, without any commentary, only cuts, video cuts from Turkish news televisions. After that, I will go on. Oh. Many thanks to dear Charlie Chaplin for his very valuable support. Well, you may simply think that after the things I will speak now, what will happen when I turn back? Will not they ask me, what the hell you spoke? Did you do that in Oslo? Well, for the answer, I must thank Pablo Picasso, because giving a very good example, historical example. That's an anecdote told about his famous painting, Guernica. Just to remind for young generations, in the days of Spanish Civil War, Hitler sent his Air Force, Luftwaffe, troops to help General Franco. And those troops, while bombing here and there, they also bombed a town named Guernica and killed over 1,600 innocent people there. It was a great scandal all over the world, and Picasso's, that painting was made on that issue. It's told that when that Guernica, it's a very big painting, was first exhibited in Paris, all of a sudden, German ambassador of Nazi regime also came. He just stood against the painting with a bad smile on his face. Picasso was just standing beside and turned to Picasso and asked, "Is it you who did that?" Picasso answered, "No, it is not me who did that. It is you who did that." So, let's come to the subject and just remember how to make it. Forgotten how to do that. I can find it. Is this one? How to make it full screen. Oh yeah, that was, sorry. Okay, let's go ahead. Well, Turkey today. And the general situation. Well, the general situation seems to have calmed down after the unsuccessful coup attempt, but in fact it is not, because Erdogan has already turned back the war with Kurds. And the general election of June 1997, where, despite his demand from the people, 400 seats, a state president demanding seats for a party. It's a constitutional crime in Turkey because the situation of the state president should be neutral out of any party. He demanded that, but AKP, his former party, lost the majority in Turkish parliament. Then he did his best to take his seats back. What he did was, first he tried to gain time as much as possible, because as a state president, he should give that duty, that task, to some politician. Normally, the majority party's leader is still the majority party's AKP, but he spent his possible time until the last moment. Then he gave the duty to the prime minister then. And prime minister also earned time until the very, very last moment. Then at the very last moment he said, excuse me, I could not do that, gave the task back. And traditionally, Erdogan should give the task to the second bigger party. He did not. He also gained some more time and said, no, we will renew the elections in 1st of November. And in between, he made very, very important things too. Until then, he was always rejecting the demands from the United States to use the bases, military bases in Turkey for attacking on ISIS. And he was always rejecting. But all of a sudden, after this first election, he changed his mind. Some American generals started coming to Ankara and blah, 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 something. And all of a sudden we heard that permission is given. Normally we think, what was the deal? What did he get? A few days later, we've got the answer. Turkish air forces attacked on 2 targets. First to ISIS, half a bomb, and then with all their might to Kandil Mountains, where PKK's headquarters was. Naturally, PKK didn't have jets to bomb Ankara to give an answer, and they used the possibilities they have. This was turning back to the war, despite the big hopes that people got after a very long, years-long time in peace, and declarations. It's called the Dolmabahce Agreement. It was declared on the televisions. We saw both sides did it. Okay, step by step they would go to the interior peace. PKK armed forces would leave Turkish territory and everything. But no, and later on, he always denied it. He said there was not such an agreement. Are we idiots? We saw it with our own eyes, heard with our. They all deny it. It does not happen. Okay, they're right. So, and the result is terrible, of course. Back to war, and he kept on taking steps to eliminate his biggest enemy, HDP, pro-Kurdish party, in the parliament. In the first elections, they got 80 seats. In the second, second elections, they turned back to 63, I think. But it was the biggest crime that what they did. They were able to overcome the 10% threshold, a very high threshold in general elections. This means all the votes they got were going to the other parties, and mainly to AKP. When they were over the threshold, then AKP's majority was always in danger. So he has to eliminate them. Many attacks on that party. Not only the party centers, these scenes are mainly even before the first elections of June 7, not in between. In between, the attacks started here and there, and many towns or city parts like Sur in Diyarbakir and Cizre and many others were bombed. It was not a fight with guns between PKK or others and Turkish army. No, tanks and cannons were bombing and destroying everything together with the people in it. And they also changed the situation of to eliminate the parliamentary immunity of MPs, and in practice it is mainly used against HDP MPs. And nowadays the prosecutors are inviting them to be questioned, and they insist, no, we will not go and be questioned. We reject that. We came with the votes of the people, over 6 million votes. They came there. And they said, okay, but you do not come, we will take you to the courts by force. They said, okay, come and do that. That's the situation at the moment. Okay, eliminating HTP in two ways. But not only them, also eliminating all dissidents. These two people are well-known people in Turkey. Two brothers, Ahmet and Mehmet Altan. Mehmet Altan, on the right, is a professor, and Ahmet Altan is a journalist and novelist writer. Also is very active in the journal Taraf, made a very important work. Now they are under arrest at the moment.
Could we give room for the people to stand out?
Shall I wait? Yes, of course. Come on.
Det er flere seter her, kan dere komme inn?
We have some more chairs here, do you need?
Det er i hvert fall 6-7 plasser her. Er det flere her inne?
Anybody left?
Det er et par stoler til her.
May I continue? Good. Just two examples. There are lots of people there, but telling the whole stories will take a lot of time, so just with symbols I'll go on. And the parliament, and the last thing, Turkey is in war at the moment, with the excuse of trying to establish a security zone of mostly 30 or 50 kilometers deep. Turkish army is there. And after that, Erdogan talks about attacking on Dhaka, the center of them. And he also says that the only danger for Turkey is not in Syria, also in northern Iraq. By northern Iraq, he doesn't mean ISIS, he means Kurds there, of course. So Turkey is in war today, at the moment, undeclared, but it is in war. And this will give another possibility to him. Normally, state of emergency was declared for 3 months. At the end of 3 months, they could again, second 3 months, third 3 months, because they were always giving example. Look what France has done, 6 months, a second 6 months, third 6 months. But now, a better chance he has in the war conditions, not only state of emergency, but state of siege may follow it up. And, well, see the parliament bombed. Well, if the coup attempt was successful, then probably Parliament would not be working. They bombed the Parliament. Good that it did not happen. And all parties, 4 parties, came together and made a declaration that they all were against military takeovers or any type of military coups, but defend democracy. But following days, only one party was left aside again, HDP. The other 3 were together, made big meetings telling about, look, we are together again for democracy, etc. But in these days, AKP brought a new laws package. They do not make regular laws. They always bring packages. This means different issues are put in one package, and then as a package law. It is their habit for many years. And in the new package, they also brought something new. Even in the past, mayor, if is charged with some crimes and a thing, could be taken out of job, but the person to replace him or her should be again one of the elected. But now he wants to change it. The Ministry of Interior should have the authority to change any mayor, but put another person he wishes instead. This is, at that time, even those other 2 opposition parties showed that they would not accept this. And a great show AKP did. Okay, in this good atmosphere of working all together for democracy, you don't want, okay, we take it back. And they did. It was a very good show. But on 1st of September, with the decree, they brought the same thing back again. This is a very concrete example how they not closed, still working, but doing useless things. Parliament is bypassed. They do what they wish over decrees. With these decrees, they make any change and dismiss, fire many people, and usually they blame them as being the members or supporters of Gülen action. But, for example, in Kocaeli, from the university, 41 teachers were fired, and all of them were the people who supported those so-called academics' petition. Have nothing to do with Gülen movement. Just using this to clear the caterers and put their own men instead. Well, this is what we've been talking about, the mayors. And 28 mayors have been dismissed, and 24 of them were HDP people, and instead their people were taken there. Yeah, hand in hand. And main opposition party, the leader is at the center. On the right hand, there's the fascist party, militarist party, HDP, and Erdogan, and that could show. Freedom of expression violations. And media is under a great oppression for many years, and increasing oppression, and now it's where this event on Hürriyet, the bestseller daily of Turkey, was attacked by a group 2 times, and nothing happened to those attacking groups, just to frighten, yeah. And at the moment, I cannot say at the moment, These figures belong to 5 days or 6 days before. Maybe figures have changed again. 115 journalists and responsible people of some journals are under arrest. The government, as always, says that they were not journalists and they were terrorists because they were arrested due to anti-terror law and being blamed of terrorist propaganda. Even intellectuals like Aslı Erdoğan, he is also a writer in prison at the moment, their names took place in the advisory commission of Daily Özgür Gündem. They are in jail. And Ragıp Sarıkolu, our dear friend, is in the very same position, and if he were in Turkey, he should be in the same position. We can hear the rest of the story from him directly. These are academics. The three people were the people who read that declaration of academics. And they were arrested for a while, then left by a court decision. And internet. Over 300 people have been tried, and some even arrested, due to their Twitter messages. And 71 websites are banned to access. There's another thing. AKP, Erdogan's team, is organizing some groups. These groups is called aktörls. Ak, which means white in Turkish, and the party's name, AKP, AK Party, White Party, Justice and Democratic Party, but Turkish intrigue. Now, those people have nothing, they're of course financed. And what they do is always watching the websites, Twitter messages, Facebook, and whenever they see something critical against Erdogan and AK Party, they insult directly. In the same day, maybe hundreds of messages are coming. Of course, this affects the people who send these messages to frighten them. But it is prefabric action still going, and also insulting very high threats and insults. How many people here speaks Turkish or understands Turkish? Okay, it's not the majority, so I can repeat those verses. In ananı avradını. And cases of insult. This is another weapon of Erdogan. Musa Kart, who drew this cartoon, was tried just because of this. Just nothing there. Yeah, we promise we'll solve this problem. What's written there? It's only that. Even that. And to even the smallest critics, he does two things. First, when he was prime minister, he was using Article 125 of Turkish Penal Code. It was sentencing the insults against the state officials, according due to their work. But after he has been state president, then he left that article there and started opening the case to Article 299 of Turkish Penal Code. This is insulting the state president. This is only the legal official side. Normally he is also opening some private cases and earns a lot of money, because he also has already changed, even before that military takeover thing, step by step, he changed the structure of the judiciary. And with the many, many changes he made, more than half of the judges were suspended and the new ones were elected. Who elected the new ones? The Supreme Council of Judges and Prosecutors, which he first took the whole control of the commission. So not only the structure of the judiciary, also the people working there were one by one selected and sent there. So it is very, very easy for him to take any decision he wishes. And I hate to say "and" today. Let's come to the end. Okay, some positive thing. You know who he is. Still, some democratic resistance goes on. For example, these are the HDP MPs who say, we reject to give any statement to the prosecutor of the palace. Well, back to history. In 1995, this person is old me. No, he's young me. In 1995, when our famous author Yaşar Kemal was invited to State Security Court about an article he wrote to Der Spiegel, German magazine, they're criticizing the behavior of Turkish state on Kurds. He was invited there to be tried, and many intellectuals, over 100 people, we went there together to support him. There we started a signature campaign, a very simple thing. Whoever has trouble of declaring their ideas this way or that way, regardless of content, no matter if we agree or disagree, we will put our signature under it and go to prosecutor and blame ourselves. It was a sensational start. Started in 99 people, very famous people from different branches, who the trial started. Very good that at that time cameras were allowed in court cases, and every day we were on the television, of course. It went on for many years, and we saw that so crowded things. Okay, it gives us the possibility to make publicity, but then the Turkish system is moving so slow that this case may last 50 or 60 years. So we cannot force the state to change the legislation this way. What to do? Okay, for every single new event, we were making another civil disobedience action, up to 5 people, a new case. And over 45 times we did within 1.5 years, and many cases were opened, so that the state had to make a new laws to get rid of this action. Laws like that. All crimes committed via media will be suspended for 3 years. If within 3 years you do not repeat it, it's okay. If you do, you will pay both. This means to us to erase everything we've done until that day and turn back to the beginning, just like playing Monopoly. What we have put all those little things together, published a book again, and once again the whole thing started in 4 different courts: High Criminal Court, State Security Court, and Military Court. And dear Eugene Shulgin, who is our witness, he has come to many of these courts, and he faced many interesting things. If he has time, maybe he can tell. But now, that much years later, unfortunately, we had to turn back to zero, starting them once again. In the days when Diyarbakır's Sur district was attacked by the army and people were being killed there, then a big group of intellectuals from Ankara, Istanbul, and Izmir, we went together to witness what's going on, because television and media were telling lies all the time, blaming PKK doing something. This is why army was doing that. And we have seen the reality and tragedy there. We were able to see it. And in our return, everybody was so angry with that. All of a sudden, something very interesting happened. In a very popular television entertainment show, Beyaz show. Beyaz means also white. What is the name of person? A young lady from Diyarbakir participated via telephone call. And she said, good that you're having fun there. But here we're living a tragedy. Innocent people are being killed every day, children, women, old people. Please help us to raise our voice. Nobody hears it. It was a great shock. The Beyaz did not know what to do. Everybody applauded the girl. But the second day, of course, and the investigation started for Ayşe Çelik, that teacher, young lady teacher. And those people who just turned back from Diyarbakir were so angry that let's not leave her alone. And we again started those civil disobedience actions. On 23rd of September in Istanbul, Bakırköy, we will be tried. Ayşe Çelik, 2 journalists, they will apologize and flee from the television responsibilities, but 30 people from Istanbul, Ankara, and Izmir, who voluntarily blamed ourselves, will be tried altogether. It's very good that most of us decided that we will not defend ourselves saying we decided to defend the freedom of expression of Ayşe Çelik. We will not say it. We will say what Ayşe Çelik said is the truth. So, first, at least the part of reality will have recorded in the official files of the state. This is something very important. When you're not able to change tragic things, at least you should record them for the future. When the day comes, if you say, this has happened, that, blah, 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 words fly off. But if you have evidence, then you can depend on them. And unfortunately, in order to have the evidence in the state's records, we have to find such ways which can harm ourselves too. This is the picture of those group, the Istanbul group in Ankara and Izmir. Other people also did that. And after that, we decided to make it stable. Not only we're angry. Anger is something good from time to time, but it does not last too much. 1 week or 2 weeks later, you turn to your own life. So, as a steady thing, we established Freedom of Expression Network of Turkey. At the moment, it exists in Istanbul, Ankara, and Izmir. There are 3 groups, but in order to take part, it's not necessary to be in one of these groups. There is no direction, no board, no membership, just nothing. In the website, when you just click on that green button, then a page is open. If you have an idea, this should be done, go and write it there with your name, etc. And it will be there. You will see other people's offers too. And you may participate the ones that you like. And the other people, if they like your offer, then they can participate. And if 5 persons from the same city takes part, then it directly goes under the red button, the actions button. And the proposals and actions, not always on civil disobedience action, or it may be visiting prisoners at the prison you will not let in, but making something at the door is also gives a message to the society and also the prisoner inside to encourage them. or not leaving freedom of expression victims on court cases, going there all together, or making some meeting somewhere for another purpose, or press conference, or participating in some radio and television process, if possible, of course. Anything. Only, of course, court cases, then when the date is, then it can be done. All the others, we accumulate during 1 month, and the next month's first Monday, we call it the Black Monday. All groups go to the courthouses in their cities in the same day, same time. They do the same thing, civil disobedience action or other things. So this is the one of the positive things, information we can give to you from Turkey. And we have something special. If you have not visited this museum, help yourself, you won't regret. That's all I can say for the moment. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you.